Hello, my gorgeous goddess. Welcome to another Q&A episode on Cosmic Imprint. I am so delighted to have you joining me for this deep dive into a beautiful question that came in through my Instagram space when I popped up a story box just recently, calling for your questions on activating your human design within your soulpreneur business, your soul calling work. And this is a beautiful question from a manifesting generator. And I'll just read out the question just before we dive into the juicy goodness, in case you're listening on the audio. So this is a question that came in that says, I'm not called to niche as a 4/6 manifesting generator, but having trouble making it make sense in my business. So we're going to dive into essentially the concept of niching as a manifesting generator. So the greatest starting point permission slip you can give yourself as a Mani-Gen within your soul calling work is to embrace the fact that you are here to be completely new paradigm, completely revolutionize everything, completely take the rules as they apply to other people and disregard as you desire is pretty much the first permission slip you can give yourself. You are very much establishing the rules of your own game. And the more you can get into that mindset of the fact that you are co-creating with the universe at a very rapid pace, in a very non-linear way, in a collapsing timelines, quantum leaping type energy, you are designed to move quickly. You are designed to move in multiple directions simultaneously. If that feels aligned for you, we'll just put a little asterisk there for a second and come back to that point. And, to really embrace the fact that you're here to initiate ideas that you have responded to in a very rapid way, bring things to life in a very rapid way, create things in, cycles or rhythms that no other energy type can compete with you on, right? Not even, a pure manifestor energy type can initiate things very, very rapidly. However, the energetic capacity to get it going and seeing it off the ground isn't quite there, in terms of not having sacral definition. So manifesting generators, your gift is the fact that you can not only have the idea, the inspiration, the take action energetics that are aligned within you. However, you've also got the energetic capacity, the battery of sorts with your sacral definition there that sees things up to that kind of cruising altitude that carries things through. Now, just because you can carry something through doesn't mean you have to. So this is important to recognize when you are establishing your own rules of business, essentially, is to know whether it is yours to see all the way through to landing that plane. Essentially, once you get to the cruising altitude, do you then have a permission slip can you give yourself then a permission slip if it feels aligned to bring in support, bring in automations, bring in a team member, have affiliates, whatever might be the case, that continues the energy of that concept, that idea, that offer, that program through to landing the plane. If you can visualize, it's like the takeoff, cruising, and then landing. And as a Mani-Gen, you are not the pilot who is going to do the whole process. If anything, you are like what could we call it? Like the person who's got the parachute packed just in case. And you then, once you get to cruising, are going, see you guys later. Like, I had the idea, I got it off the ground. Now I'm going to go jump and have the time of my life and do this awesome skydive. And I'm going to jump in another plane and I'm going to take off in a different direction. And it doesn't mean that your business is not making sense. It doesn't mean that your business is not successful. It is really that you are completely dismantling and putting back together everything you've probably ever been told about business success. And that can sometimes be really hard to get your head around. especially if you've been conditioned to believe that it has to look a certain way, if maybe the influences or expanders that you've had in your life as you've been growing your business have had success that looks a different way, or a certain type of way, or a pathway to success that is very linear. And I'm using success in a very loose terminology here because, of course, success is different for every single one of us, right? So that can really help you to establish essentially what is your personal brand? What is your version of success? What is the clarity on your current vision of what a successful business looks like for you? Is it freedom? Because I know many gens, your energy is about that play, fun, creativity, excitement, responding to the world around you in that way that it's like anything that feels heavy or boring or constrictive needs to go ASAP. And business in the traditional old paradigm sense is celebrated when we show or demonstrate success in terms of consistency, longevity, financial accumulation in our bank account. And as a Manny Gen, yes, some of those things might feel aligned for you, but more often than not, they might eventually feel like a noose around, tightening around your throat, because creativity, spontaneity, fun, play, these are not necessarily things in old paradigm business that have been celebrated or encouraged, especially as women in business, especially as intuitive, psychic, woo-woo, witchy women who are running our soulpreneur businesses. So your personal brand, the more you can lean into becoming your personal brand, embodying, embracing, just living your fucking life as who you are and building your personal brand around that, allows you the freedom then to be the multi-hyphenate, to have multiple passions, to be able to dip your toes in and out of a number of different genres or activities or business ventures. It's almost like if you can think of yourself, your personal brand of you, and let's say in your social media space, showing up as you, allows you then to have these multiple different things that can come under your umbrella of your personal brand. And you can then have, they might be different businesses. They might be your own one singular business, and it just has a number of different kind of offshoots or arms of within that business. It really is up to you how you desire to structure it. But especially as we're starting out in business, when we're in our earlier stages of business, having your personal brand and being really rock solid in this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and anything I turn my hand to under that is going to be wildly successful because I am my personal brand and people are coming into my world because it's me. This is who I am, this is what I'm about. And it doesn't fucking care whether you are doing an Instagram live, whether you are teaching a course on this particular subject, whether you're writing a book, whether you're creating a vlog, whether you are doing group coaching, one-on-one coaching, evergreen programs, like they can be under a number of different topics and genres as well, maybe even creating physical products. These are all things to understand that the more you can allow the play, and it all ties together with you. You are like the hub at the heart of everything. So I just want to speak to an example of a Manny Gen who I think is a really fantastic expander for Manny Gens having incredibly successful businesses. So Rihanna is a manifesting generator. I believe she has emotional authority. And I just think she is such a fantastic example of, she is the personal brand, right? She came out the gate as Rihanna. Like there was no last name. It was just Rihanna from day one, right? She was the personal brand. She is the hub at the center of everything. And if you look at her, let's say, business suite of offerings, if you were going to label it that, she has music, she has movies, she has endorsements, she has her own makeup line, she has her lingerie line as well. She has clothing, she has art. collaborations, it just goes on and on and on. The number of different ways she turns her creativity to something, and she is the personal brand at the core of that, right? She's not trying to essentially fit a mold of this is what a musician does, or this is what a actor does. Like, she's gone, you know what, I'm going to do all of these things, and it's my personal brand is at the heart of that. People know me for me. This is what I'm about. This is my vibe. This is my style. This is my point of view. And that's why people come with her, to buy her cosmetics, to watch her movies, to listen to her music, because the personal brand is at the heart of that and is at the core of that. And I think, it's really, if you could think of, to give yourself that visual of how it can make sense, because I can understand that feeling of, if there's confusion within yourself, obviously that is going to reflect out into how your soul community interacts with your energy, right? It's that as above, so below, as within, so without. If we have clarity within ourselves, then it becomes so much easier for our soul communities and our soul clients to connect with us, because we are emanating a frequency of clarity around who we are, what we're doing. And so that's why, if you can come back to focusing on your personal brand of what are your values, what do you stand for, what is your life, what are you about, make yourself I don't want to say center of attention, because that's not quite the right energy here, but it might feel aligned to do so if you are someone who has got the activations within your human design, your gene keys, your astrology, to be kind of that star standing on stage, or the speaker, the author, the celebrity-esque essence, right? Like, there are going to be plenty of people who have got that type of activation. So it can be that you make yourself the center of attention, but it's more about you acknowledging that you are the personal brand at the core of everything. And that then becomes the way that there can be that clear energy that people can go, fuck, I just love this person so much. I love their vibe. I love what they're about. It's that, oh my God, me too kind of energy when people are coming into your world. I love that too. I see myself in you. I see aspects of my life that that are reflected in your life or your business or your energy, or I see things that I aspire to, I am inspired by, I am expanded by, because people don't have to, like, I look at Rihanna's life and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking inspired by you. But I also at the same time go, I know how, for me to try and emulate that type of life and business success and, a career of sorts would be completely misaligned for me, but I get to go do it in my own way, right? So this is where, being your personal brand doesn't mean that other people have to follow your business strategy. And this is where, as well, I think having that awareness of, say, for example, your human design and understanding it on that deeper level, the more Mani Gens who can speak to their Mani Gen essence, whether it is in the language of human design, speaking about it in that way, or whether it is taking it and transforming it into language that is along the lines of, hey, in my business, I am a stand for creativity, play, fun, first and foremost, embracing my inner child, allowing myself freedom, and that could be the language that you speak in that other people can connect to. Or you could go really into the, hey, I know I'm a manifesting generator in human design, and these are the things that I bring into my business to support myself within that. And you can talk to it in that human design informed language if that feels aligned for you. But there's going to be plenty of people who don't even need to hear you speak about it in technical sort of human design terminology. Just keywords like freedom, play, inner child are automatically going to have people, on the edge of their seat, leaning in, following you, wanting to know how do you bring that about in your life? How do you follow that within your soul calling work? So there's many manifesting generators who, embrace things like having evergreen courses, for example, because actually being in a one-on-one coaching space or a live group coaching space or something like that can feel constricting. It can also feel fucking freeing, because I know plenty of many gens who are amazing, incredible one-on-one coaches and group mentor coach, facilitate those sorts of situations and do it live and really deliver these most amazing, like power-packed half hour, 45-minute, 1 hour, just like energizing, activating sessions that you come away with just feeling like, oh my God, my mind was so blown. But there are plenty of also many gens out there who are wanting the freedom first and foremost, like that is the thing at the top of their list every single day, the freedom to have nothing on your list, basically. And so setting up your business in a way, if that feels like it aligns for you, to basically spend your whole day, as allowing your inner child to go run free and play and do whatever you want, and be so spontaneous and have nothing in your calendar that could hold that spontaneity back, right? That there can be things that you can set up in your business, whether that's online courses, whether that's evergreen programs, things that people can buy anytime. They're pre-recorded, you've done the work once, and then you can go off and do whatever else it is you want to do, because that frees up the way that you can have multiple things going at once. That frees up your energy to allow for the non-linear. It doesn't mean that you can't commit to doing things longer term. Absolutely not. Like, you can make the rules as you see fit. However, I always encourage manifesting generators, especially in that early phase of just figuring out what works for you, deconditioning from all the old bullshit that you've been led to believe is the key, is the route to success, is the formula to achieve success, is the path that you have to follow of this step, then this step, then this step, then this step, right? It's allowing for yourself to have perhaps shorter term commitments as you're figuring that out. So what that might look like is having maybe something that gives you more freedom and flexibility if you're wanting to do, say, one-on-one coaching. So maybe that is having a rolling month-to-month commitment with your clients, and you say, look, I'm calling in 2 one-on-one clients at the moment. We're doing month-to-month, but it's a minimum of 3 months, for example. You might say to yourself, look, I'm just going to stick at this for 3 months. It's 12 weeks. I know I can stick to that. I'm only going to do 1 call a fortnight, and it's half an hour. So it's a very small time frame that you're actually committing to being in a one-on-one, sitting face-to-face on Zoom, for example. And then it might be that you've got a Voxer container that's for all the other in between that can be very spontaneous. It can just be the picking your phone up on the go, dealing with, not dealing with like interacting with your clients within obviously your own boundaries of what feels supportive and aligned for you, of how much you give to those spaces. So creating some frameworks around that of going, look, I'm only actually available in Voxer for Wednesday to Saturday, for example. And then that gives you the rest of your week very spacious, very open. You can set those parameters around, look, if you had a group container, for example, to say similar thing, maybe it's that you do a once a week 45-minute live call or something where you're teaching something, and you've got maybe a Voxer space, and you set the parameter of saying, hey guys, I'm going to be in the Voxer Monday to Friday, but I'm only going to check it, at around about midday my time. So you're welcome to come and decompress and share and whatever. Make sure to tag me if you have a question. But I'm going to come in and I'm going to deal with anything once a day. And then outside of that, it's your space to use as you see fit. All these sorts of things can be really empowering for you as a manager, because then you've got the times that you're on in your business. This is what I'm doing. This is when I'm committing to it. And it's a short, sharp burst of attention. And then you've got the freedom and playtime with all the rest of that time in your day to go fucking live your life. Go have fun, go be spontaneous, go just like live life out loud. And that becomes your personal brand as well, right? Because the more you can share about that, of this is the life I've created through these things in my business, that's going to appeal to more people and more people and more people, because they're going to see you being the living embodiment of it. But if you're a Manny Jen who is forcing yourself to sit at your computer for 5, 6, 7 hours a day, I have to create this. This is what I have to do. This is the type of content I have to create. I have to give, these tutorials. I have to give trainings. I have to, all the have tos, the shoulds coming through. Of course, it's going to feel heavy. Of course, it's going to feel, like dampening to your spirit. And it's not allowing you to respond to life. I so often talk to Manny Jens about the fact that they don't know what to post on social media, for example. And the first thing I say is, well, what are you giving yourself to respond to? What are you allowing yourself to respond to? And if you're just trying to think of it off the top of your head, yes, you might have some certain specific activations within your human design, for example, that might give you lots of inspiration that you then are self-responding to the ideas as they come through. But really, you're designed to respond to life and to just be out living and respond to that. So having the things like Q&As that you get people to send in questions and then you can do riffs on, or having a way that you are allowing yourself to maybe jump into a space that is a supported environment, whether that's a Facebook group, whether that's a group of your biz besties, and the things that are coming up, the topics that are coming up in that, are you responding to that in a way that, inspires you to then go and record something, whether that's a podcast episode, whether that's to go live, whether that's just to do some stories, to create a post, for example. So the responding is the thing that is the magic that gets you into that flow and into that alignment, and then following that to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, rather than trying to logic your way through the process, because your version of going from one response to another might look like, it's almost like a chessboard. Right? You've got multiple pieces in motion, and some of them move one square at a time. Some of them go like a funny L-shape angle. Some of them go diagonally. And it's giving yourself permission to have those multiple things in motion, rather than going, no, I have to have one thing that I am moving in a very linear fashion from one step to another, to another, to another. It's like, no, you've got the chessboard in front of you with all these pieces that you can move around and co-create with the universe. So how can you free yourself to do that? Yes, absolutely have clarity on your vision. Yes, absolutely have the key anchor that is, okay, what does not feel aligned with this? And I'm giving myself the permission to let go, pause, put it down, whatever you need to do. But where is your vision? Where are you heading in your business? What is the energy that you want to embrace? And maybe that vision is freedom. Maybe that vision is impact. Maybe that thing you have in your mind that is the end result of your business success being standing on stage, speaking in front of thousands of people. I have a beautiful Manny Jen friend who is one of my biz besties, and she always comes back to her vision that she has in her mind and on her vision board on Pinterest of standing on stage in front of this massive crowd of people speaking, right? That is the vision. So everything on the chessboard is still progressing towards that vision, but it might mean that some of those pieces on the chessboard look like creating reels because they're fun and they're just fucking light her up, or light you up. And that gives the creativity, the play, the excitement that people can connect to, that very, very magnetic as fuck excitement about what you do and why you do it. It might be that one of those pieces on the chessboard is hosting a weekly Q&A on your podcast or on your YouTube channel or on your Instagram, for example. One of those other pieces that moves you towards that vision might be being part of, I'm just using the example of speaking, in this instance of, running some in-person events that give you that muscle to flex of going, okay, I might only be speaking to a small room of say 4 or 5 people, but that is still me getting up in front of people, sharing my voice, speaking, being in that energy of taking an aligned step towards the big vision that is thousands and thousands of people, you know? So I think it's really, and again, it's letting go of what doesn't feel aligned or what feels hard. So there can also be the things that your mind comes in and goes, okay, well, I want to set up my evergreen course. So therefore I need to, create a landing page. I need to have the payment links. I need to work out how to make the thing where people put their email address into. And that immediately is a Manny Gen getting into the territory of it's not your zone of genius. Manny Gens are take quick action, take very easy here to here type quantum leap action, and often missing steps, skipping steps, forgetting to do something, that's very Manny Gen energy. And it's like, the more you can embrace that and just be like, fuck it, I don't care if it's not perfect. You know what? I'm just going to make this so fucking easy. I'm not going to put like 20 different steps in there. All of those things can be really freeing for you to just take messy action. You can always do the thing and then come back and fix up the bits behind the scene. And I was having a conversation in my amazing mastermind group yesterday. We were talking about exactly this, that we were saying how we sometimes, if we're setting up something within our business, especially in the early days, we overestimate the delivery of something. So what I mean by that is that you think, okay, I'm going to set up this masterclass that I want people to, it's going to be a paid masterclass. It's maybe like $55 and I need to set up the automations, blah, 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 right? We're trying to set it up thinking to ourselves that there's going to be like hundreds and hundreds of people clicking that link as soon as we post it on our Instagram. The reality is there might be like 5 to 10 people who jump on that link straight away the minute it's, posted, kind of thing. If that might take a month to reach 5 to 10 people, who knows? Like, everybody's path is different. However, if you're not doing a massive launch around something, you can anticipate that the numbers are going to be manageable, that you could actually set up something that is just very simple, like DM me if you want it and I'll send you the payment link, and then I'll send you the link once the payment's gone through, right? It doesn't have to be massively fucking complicated. So if the technology and the steps and the doing all the things in a very linear fashion feels restrictive as a Manny Gen, just fucking let that shit go and go, you know what? I'm just going to keep it so simple. Here's my vibe. Here's what I'm about. Want to know more? DM me. I'll send you the link. Like, that can be as easy as it is, or it gets to be. The biggest thing you can do is give yourself the mindset that it's going to work, right? That it's going to work perfectly. It's going to be easy, that you are magnetizing your people, all of these things, the mindset work around that, and empowering yourself to know that, hey, I'm clear on my vision. I'm clear on where I want to go. And maybe the end goal is that you don't want to work, right? Like, that's the ultimate, probably for so many of us, but especially as Manny Gens, it's like, we don't want to work. What are you talking about? Like, I just want to have fun every day of my life. So if that end goal is to have fun all day, every day in your business and basically not be working, what are you doing to move the needle towards that? Are you setting yourself up with this very cumbersome system of, I'm saying cumbersome in the sense that it might feel like that way for you as a Manny Gen, not that this is cumbersome business at all, because there are going to be other people that this fully lights them up in terms of, are you setting yourself up with something that feels heavy because you've got, 5 one-on-one clients and you've got a group coaching program and you've got a course that you're selling, and it's setting up your business in a way that is perfectly aligned for someone else, right? This is what I mean, is that it's not a bad business strategy because that works perfectly for some people. However, if you could look at all those parts and go, what is the bit that I fucking enjoy the most? Okay, what I enjoy the most is the online courses selling, because I don't have to do anything. I do the work once. I have nothing booked in my calendar. The sales just happen automatically. I fucking love that, because then I just literally can go and live my best fucking life. Okay, if that is the one thing that you love, then focus on that. Make that make sense in your business. and allow yourself the freedom to go, hey, this is me. This is my personal brand within your marketing, within your vibe on your social media, within the type of content you put out there. And oh, by the way, if this is vibing for you, this is how you can come get in my world. This is what I currently have available. This is the, whether it's a free masterclass, whether it's a PDF download, whether it's the, hey, this is the link to come check out my online course that I have that you can dive into right now. And if you're anything like me, you want to be able to dive in straight away and then do a whole lot on it and then go away and live your best life and then come back to it next week. And you can speak to these things that are your own path and your own natural way of thriving in your business. So I hope that was, useful as a bit of a Manny Jen kind of permission slip power chat. Let me have a sip of my coffee, which has kind of started going cold while I've been on my big rant, my big riff about Manny Jen business. So let's just quickly touch on the 4-6 profile aspect as well, because this comes in as another layer to give yourself a permission slip in this bigger context of being a Manny Jen in your business. So 4-line relationship building, trusting that every single client, soul community member is already somehow connected to you. And what I mean by that is that if you can imagine, let's say your Instagram community is 1,000 people right now. Every single person that you are ever going to work with is somehow connected to that group of people who are in your community right now. It's like a spider web of invisible threads that you can't see. If you've ever heard of the concept of 6 degrees of separation, that every single person, every one of those 1,000 people has got at least probably 6 people that are going to share your, work, and they are going to see it. And then, it creates that ripple out more and more and more of all these invisible threads and connections of people that you just never know who is going to see your work, because as a 4-line, or who is going to come into your world, because as a 4-line, everything comes from that community that you already are nurturing and nourishing. So 100% focus on who's already there. It can be tempting to feel like you have to keep growing your audience in a very active, strategic way. And that, if you have a 4 in your profile, is not really the case, right? You are here to focus and love hard on the people who are there and give fucking gratitude for the people who are there and create the things that they are going to be able to share. And what I mean by that is that, yes, there can be the having fun and playing in terms of our business. And can you do that in a way that someone is going to come across that and go, oh my God, who would love to see this? My best friend. Or do you know who would fucking love this chick? My group of girlfriends that we catch up with every weekend. Or I just love the vibe of this so much, or this speaks to me so much. I'm going to share this to my stories and put, this is so me. These are the things that we can sort of get into our mind about. How are we adding value to other people's lives, and focus on it in that very 4-line way of going, what are my community really, what are they really desiring? Okay, they want to be able to share something that is entertaining, or they want to be able to share with their community, like, oh my God, this was the transformational experience I had, and I really want you to know about it as well. Or this Instagram live was so inspiring, I'm going to share that to my stories. Or this post was so informational for me and helping me to connect to my own intuition or gifts or magic. So I'm going to share that, for example. So this is where the 4-line really starts to activate, because you're facilitating an easy way for other people to share on your behalf. And that's how a 4-line thrives, is that the connections come from within the group that you're already connected to. Another beautiful friend of mine, not a Manny Jen, but has a 4 in her profile. And she, over the weekend, was at I think it was like a children's birthday party, and some other random parent at the party that she'd never really spoken to before came up and went, oh my God, you've got a podcast, right? And these are the kind of things that, like, 4 lines are working their magic behind the scenes, that a person with a 4-line doesn't necessarily know how much is going on energetically that they're not even aware of, right? It's the quiet sharing and interconnections that are going on that are producing the magic. Because it might seem like, oh my God, something comes out of the blue, but actually, if you were ever able to trace it back, there will be a very obvious line of it was passed through this, connection of people. Even things like, I myself have referred someone on to another biz bestie of mine, and they've then gone on to carry on working together for like, over 6 months, and have the most beautiful dynamic and relationship working together because they were such a good fit. And I didn't even consciously think of it at the time, but then later on was like, oh my God, that's right, you've got a 4 in your profile. So it was like the perfect way for that client to come to her because of the fact that she got referred on from me, and it was completely aligned and unintentionally a 4-line in action. But that's what was, it was really beautiful to step back and look at that. So also, it then flags the things of how easily can other people send, people your way. How easy are you to be discovered online? How easily can people click the link in your bio and find out how to work with you? Sometimes we forget, and especially as many gens, because the linear steps of sometimes we need to go back and just retrace over our links and our link in bio and just make sure that those things are easy for people to be able to find us. If you're hosting an event, or if you're hosting a masterclass, for example, or a workshop, is there a graphic that you've created that other people can share to their stories so that they can actually tell other people like, hey, I've booked to go to this masterclass. Like, I've got my seat, I'm in, this is amazing. Or I'm going to this in-person event that's being run by this amazing, person that I just find so much value in. Here's the details on how you can get there as well, right? So thinking about these things sometimes a little bit, doesn't always have to be super strategic, but just remembering how your energy is best supported by your community in that way of embracing your 4-line. 6-line is always important to remember that it's okay to show up imperfectly. And I'm not going to speak too much more on this because I actually had another question come in that was specifically about having a 6-line in your profile and showing up on social media. So if you want to check that out, make sure to jump in on that Q&A episode as well, because I'm going to dive in there. But it's the biggest thing I can say just in a nutshell is it's okay to show up imperfectly. 6-line is all about role model essence, and especially when it comes to showing up in our businesses, our 6-line can kind of be a bit of a handbrake that goes, oh no, like perfectionist. Have I done that right? Am I, what am I teaching? What value am I giving? Who is going to fucking care? And then it's like, oh God, I can't share this because it's not perfect. It's got mistakes, or it's not completely finished, or I didn't get time to go over it 20 times. And so it's allowing ourselves the flow of going, you know what, I can show up imperfectly. Like, even just doing this, I'm going to speak to my own experience just quickly as a 6-2 profile, that even sharing like podcast episodes like this and recording and having my face there on the YouTube channel version of the podcast episodes was a really big step for my 6-line, because I was always felt like I wasn't put together enough to be on camera. I felt like I needed to be something more. I needed to be something different. I needed to have my hair done, that I needed to have makeup, that I needed to, if I was ever going to show my face, that it had to be done in a very curated way. And the more I've embraced just going, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to come as I am, like unwashed hair, tied in a bun, like thrown on what I'm wearing today, and just still press record and not allow that to hold myself back, because at the end of the day, this is me. Like, this is what you get with me. And so why try and carefully curate this image that, yes, it's fun to have that. Yes, it's absolutely aligned for us to have the times when we love to do the glam, or we love to dress up, or we want to be feeling ourselves and vibing with that highest self-expression. But it's okay to show up imperfectly and still deliver the incredible value that you are here to deliver, right? That's one of the biggest things you can remember as a 6 line, and a permission slip. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you love this episode. For all you beautiful Mani Gens that are tuning in, that are listening in, I hope you've taken away lots of aha moments. Feel free to come back and listen to this or watch this a few times over, because as well, remember, like, you're going to get something new out of it every time. And it's okay for you to kind of have the bits that you just dive into and then hear something, and then that sparks something, and then you're off, and it's like your attention is dragged somewhere else because your response has done its thing. So you can give yourself permission to go, okay, I'm going to come back and I'm going to listen to another section of it, or I'm just going to jump in and listen to a random section and see what comes up for me that I can respond to, because I can guarantee that there will be something new every time. So, my darling, thank you for being here, you gorgeous goddess. I love you so much. I am so grateful for you, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode. Oh, and remember, I'll always drop some links in the show notes for where you can go if you are vibing with this and want to know more, or want to explore your human design more, or want to activate your human design within your business in a way that is very fucking aligned with you. I will drop some links in the show notes that you can check out at your own leisure. Mwah.